What's going on, guys? It's Nick here, back with another video. Mock Draft Monday. Of course, been a while since we've done one on Fantasy Pros. We did one with Sal last week on Sleeper. Dare did one 2 weeks ago, so it's been 3 weeks. Long enough. We're going to do a full PPR mock draft today, 12-team league, and we're going to go from the one spot, and we're going to do a setup that I see a ton in full PPR leagues. So normal, 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 1 tight end, 1 flex, 6 bench spots, but 3 wide receivers. That's something that if you're fiddling around with trying to make running backs not overpowered, this is the way to do it. Add an extra wide receiver spot and make it full PPR. Pretty much balances out every position. If you want to go crazy and you want to truly balance every position, 1.5 point for tight ends is an option. That's like a tight end premium league. If you're feeling it, you're feeling like making tight ends a little bit more valuable. We're going to go from the one spot because I don't think I've done that one in a while. So let's see how this one plays out. We're obviously taking McCaffrey at 1. We don't really need to do any analysis on the picks that are obvious. If you felt like going Saquon there, listen, I'm not going to fault you for it. For me, it's McCaffrey, but when you're talking about these elite players, you're nitpicking between a lot of them. So let's set this up because it always doesn't look pretty here. Why is it off? Okay, so not gonna go over every pick, but we see a pretty normal beginning: Zeke, Barkley, Kamara. We see 4 wide receivers go in the first round, which is not something you usually see in the half PPR leagues, but of course, full PPR, 3 wide receiver spots. We've got Michael Thomas, Godwin, Adams, Tyreek Hill. In the second round, we only see Julio and Hopkins go, and I believe that ends tier 1, which I guess we should be expecting, a break there after the run. 2 tight ends, we see Kelsey and Kittle go, and then only Lamar Jackson at quarterback. For running backs, we see what looks to be potentially the entire first 2 tiers. That's very unfortunate, but after those 4, it was Dalvin Cook, Henry, Mixon, Drake, Eckler, Chubb, Sanders, Aaron Jones, Clyde, and Josh Jacobs. So let's take a look. No, we don't want suggestions. We'll take a look at this. Oh, they made it look pretty nice here. Okay. Do I want to hide the tier? I mean, who's making these tiers? Tiers for who? I guess we'll keep the tiers up. I don't know. I haven't seen this before. So, our options. We already have McCaffrey. We can feel very safe about the running back position. We can afford definitely to forego it for a little bit and to take a little bit more risk with our running back 2 spot because McCaffrey is practically going to score enough for both of them. So we're good there. We definitely don't need a running back at this pick. And honestly, I would have considered it if we go back to this draft board, if Jacobs, Clyde, Jones, Sanders, if like that grouping, one of them had fallen, I probably would have. Because to me, and I don't know how they set it up, that is the end of a tier. And I will not be the first person to take this next tier. So we're going to wait. Wide receiver. They're saying there's 2 players left in the top tier, Allen Robinson and Kenny Golladay. For me, and I believe we released tier 3 of wide receiver on Saturday. I think Saturday. For me, that's not a tier. I still have like Evans, Juju, Moore, Cooper, Odell. I have that all, and Calvin Ridley actually, all in like one big tier. But I will say, I agree, I have Allen Robinson, I believe, at 6 and Golladay at 8. And I actually feel really good about both of them. Now, Golladay, I feel like it's a teensy bit of a bump down in full PPR because he doesn't get as many receptions. But since I feel so good about those 2, and there genuinely are question marks about everyone else in there, I think I am going to take, just double tap wide receiver here. I'll take what they have as these 2 tiers. Just 2 receivers I feel supremely confident in. And we just didn't need to even look at any other positions. And I think those 2 guys are really safe. And picking 2 safe receivers after McCaffrey, I think is a good bet. Now, we always talk about round 4. Once round 4 exits, we are looking at more risk. So with every one of my picks moving forward, I am going to try and look much more towards the upside than I am the safety of Allen Robinson and Kenny Golladay, because I just know for a fact they're going to be the guys in the passing offense. I don't necessarily need that moving forward. But let's see who got taken. So we turn around in the third round. For receivers, pretty much that entire tier and more goes. We see Amari Cooper, Cooper Kupp, Juju, Moore, Evans, Thielen, Odell, Keenan Allen, A.J. Brown, Sutton, Chark, Ridley, McLaurin, and Robert Woods all get taken. We do see Jonathan Taylor go. I would have considered him at the 412. We see Fournette, Melvin Gordon, David Johnson, Todd Gurley, Chris Carson, all of them go. Only Mahomes goes at quarterback, and then only Zach Ertz goes at tight end. Okay. So I agree with this as well. Dak Prescott is the final. No, Kyler Murray and Dak. So 2 quarterbacks are left in like this mini tier here, I guess you could say. For running back, we would be looking at Le'Veon Bell, potentially James Conner. I'm genuinely just not sure how much they're going to use McFarland, and that concerns me a little bit. We know the Steelers like to use one guy, and Conner is capable, but I don't know. McFarland was good, and I think they're going to use him as a change of pace back. I don't think McFarland can be a lead back, like a true workhorse, so keep that in mind when you're drafting him late. I think he's much more of a change of pace guy, but if they're going to be using him in that role, it's going to limit Conner's upside. So Le'Veon Bell, Montgomery, Hunt. This is tough. So for those of you who get to pick your draft spot, it is much better to try and find a spot you like in this like 4 to 8 or 9 range, being in the middle, because you can afford to look at the people around you, see what they've done in the draft, kind of game plan which players you can target. There are going to be a million picks that come off the board between my next 2 picks that I'm going to make here and the next 2. So it is extremely difficult to predict when a run is going to happen. So even though I'm looking at like Hunt and Montgomery as reaches here, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if my league that I'm in, I know this is a computer, but let's pretend we're in a league. I don't know if people are going to start panicking and just taking a boatload of running backs, and I'm going to get here with like 12 running backs off the board, and that's going to be really bad. So if you have the option, try and get more towards the middle unless you just love how your drafts turn out at turns. It is nice to have McCaffrey, though. I will say that. But having said all of that, I am looking at Bell, Montgomery, and Hunt with this pick. And then I'm looking at Parker, Lockett, Metcalf, although this is full PPR, so we're definitely leaning more towards Lockett than Metcalf. AJ Green, I don't know, that's a lot of a tier below. So realistically, I think I want Lockett with one of these picks, and I'm tempted to double tap wide receiver again just because we can start 3. But I'm very concerned, like I just said, that we're just not going to have an option at running back. So given how involved Le'Veon Bell is in the receiving game, and the fact that they did draft Pirine, but like he's not that good. So realistically, it's probably still all Bell's job, and the offense can't get that much worse from last season. So that's not a bad pick. And then I am going to go with Lockett here. I think even in half PPR, he was pretty clearly the last receiver in that like potentially top tier. This is interesting though, because Kyler Murray is still on the board, and I usually don't go with quarterbacks early, but that's an interesting dilemma we have. So I want to pull up my team. Can I do it right here? I can. Okay. So I very much like this start. We've got 2 fantastic pass-catching running backs, so we're going to have a floor. At running back every week, maybe Bell doesn't have the same ceiling he used to, but we've got an immense floor at running back with McCaffrey and Bell. I love these receivers because Lockett was very, very good before suffering a little bit of an injury last season, and realistically, when's he been bad when they finally decided to feature him? So the emergence of Metcalf sure could take some targets away, but it's going to allow Lockett to play in the slot a lot more and get a lot more of this top coverage. And I don't know, man. I think no one's really talking about Lockett. I think he's a really nice pick. So having Allen Robinson, Kenny Galladay, Tyler Lockett, I feel very safe with. So I don't need to lean any position. And I say that because if I was in a need right now, like maybe I hadn't taken running back, I need to double tap running back. Or there's three wide receivers I need to start, and I'd been going running back heavy, I need to take wide receivers. But this is a luxury pick at this point. And with Kyler Murray still on the board, I do see a pretty big gap between him and everyone else. Now, I will say, I love waiting till the end and taking guys like Daniel Jones, Stafford, Joe Burrow, Jimmy Garoppolo, Drew Lock. I think those are exceptional values late. But if we're looking at this team and we're saying this is a luxury pick, I can take a position that I don't necessarily need, but is going to catapult this team up, and I think is still a value at this pick. It's Kyler Murray. You look at the offense around him. You look at how creative Cliff Kingsbury is. You look at him in his second season. He was great in his first season. The rushing upside, I mean, would anyone be surprised if he was maybe the quarterback 3 on the season, not that far behind Lamar and Mahomes? Because I think if Lamar and Mahomes play a full season, I don't think Kyler passes them. But assuming a full bill of health from every single player and all quarterbacks, if he finished as the quarterback 3 right behind those two, wouldn't be shocked at all. So I actually think this is a really, really good spot for him. Like, late 6th round is probably not where he should be going. Just my opinion. So we're good there. Is there a tight end that's fallen? Not really. I mean, you could consider some of these guys, but I don't even know how much I prefer Ingram, Henry, Higbee to guys like Fant, Gesicki, Hurst, Hawkinson. So since I don't really see a big gap there, and I think I can wait a long time, I should be taking a position of need. If I look at wide receiver, I don't see anyone standing out, and I'm not going to take someone if no one stands out. But if I look at running back, I see 2 or 3 guys that stand out. I really like Hunt. You guys know that. I think Cam Akers has a lot of upside, and I am looking at upside with the rest of my running back picks. And I think Geis has a lot of upside. But I think the pretty clear pick is Kareem Hunt. I'm not sure anyone has his sort of upside, given the fact that if Chubb goes down, he's a top 5 running back, and I'd be able to pair him with McCaffrey, and I've essentially won the league at that point. I mean, realistically, if Chubb went down and I had Hunt just playing as my running back 2 with McCaffrey and Kyler Murray and my wide receivers, I feel pretty good about the team. And we can get Akers or Geis with this pick. So even though I would love to get Anthony Miller, Slayton. Oh wait, I have 2 picks, right? Or do I not? I can't remember if it's simulated after this. Bring us back to the draft board. Oh, nice. We have 2 picks. Okay. So definitely going to take Akers with one of the picks. If you look at the betting markets, Akers is rising. Vegas thinks he has more and more of a chance of finishing as the Rookie of the Year. It's still a pretty low chance because running backs are relatively unlikely to get it, but it seems like Vegas is leaning towards Akers being the guy over Henderson. And everything I've read, they love him. Every metric I've looked at, he looks like a very good running back. So I think that's a great upside pick. Looking back at our team, though, McCaffrey, Bell, Hunt, Akers. Full PPR. We can realistically start 4 wide receivers. I think at this point, we need to start getting more wide receivers. Guys I'm looking at here: Anthony Miller, Darius Slayton, CeeDee Lamb, Preston Williams, N'Keal Harry, Rager. But I think I think Anthony Miller would be the pick if we did not have Allen Robinson. Since we have Allen Robinson, I do not think you should take him and Miller. That is something I get asked a lot. I got asked, is it cool stacking Wilson, Lockett, and Metcalf? No, and not unless you're in a format that has something like best ball, but a format where you need correlation in order to win late. In a normal setting, in a dynasty league, in a redraft league, don't be doing that. You're raising, no, you're lowering. You're lowering both your ceiling and your floor. So I've done this before. Think of your production over a season as like this, right? You're going to have high points, you have midpoints, and low points. It goes like this. When you add correlation to your team, yes, you would expect the high points to be higher when the team goes off, but how many times is Wilson going to throw multiple touchdowns and 100 yards to both Lockett and Metcalf in the same week? Maybe once all season. So for the majority of the time, your ceiling is actually lower and your floor is lower as well, because what happens when Seattle scores 9 points on 0 touchdowns? Your quarterback and your 2 receivers don't have a touchdown, and they probably don't have many yards. So you take your curve and you just shift it down. Your ceiling's lower, your floor is lower. That's not what you want. You only want that in like a best ball format when you're trying to capture that upside. So no to Miller. I'm going to take Slayton here. I think that he is a fantastic young receiver. I think he's going to be the outside receiver all season. I think he has the most upside of any receiver in that passing game, and that's what we're looking for with this pick. So I definitely like him. Think we go with wide receiver, honestly, with these next 2 picks as well. Higbee is an option if we want to take 1 tight end and we can't decide on 2 wide receivers. It's only really handcuffs at this point for running back, and I feel good enough about who we have and the fact that we only technically need to start 2 that I'm going to hold off. I'm going to take another one, but I'm going to hold off right now because I don't think we need to do it. You could take Madison here. I personally do not believe that Dalvin Cook will be holding out this season. I think with the new CBA, it is, when you combine the fact that it just hasn't worked out for running backs holding out and the fact that the new CBA is going to fine him a ton and he's not going to accrue a season, like, it makes no sense that he would want to hold out. So I don't think he's going to, and I don't think you should be one of those people that's like reaching on Madison. I mean, I've seen screenshots where he's going like the 5th or 6th round. I don't think you should be one of those people, especially given that it is currently June. Like, a lot of things can happen. So you could take him here. I'm not against it, but honestly, I don't think he holds out, so we're not going to do it. For wide receivers, it would be Preston Williams, because we did not take Parker. Again, don't take both of those guys. Preston Ruggs, just because if I need upside in a week, it's a nice player to have. You can't think of players like that, like Hardman and Ruggs. If you can start 4 receivers and you just like, you're clearly projected to lose, but you want to throw Ruggs into your flex spot because he's a player that can get 102 touchdowns. Sometimes you need that. You need players like that on your roster to just give you a chance in certain weeks. So if you wanted that with this pick, you'd go him over Preston. We can get both if we wanted. I'm cool with Hunter Renfrow, to be completely honest. Cool with Rager, Pittman. But I'm going to take Preston. He's kind of a staple on this channel. We definitely view him as a very talented player who had a very unfortunate injury that we hope can recover fully for week 1. Don't have any real news on it yet, which is why it's a little bit of a risky pick. We don't really care about risk at this point in the draft. But honestly, I'm not really leaning anyone here, so why don't we just take Higbee? Clearly, if you watched last season, has that sort of upside that we're looking for. I would be fine, though, if you really, really wanted Madison with that last pick, because you can get Hurst, Gesicki, Hawkinson, even Jonnu Smith, Blake Jarwin with this next pick. I do think Higbee is a better option than those guys, but I don't think Dalvin's holding out. So we got 3 bench spots left. Again, capturing full upside. Oh, I forgot to add, whatever. I forgot to add defense to this mock draft, but last round. Let's run through it, though, just at the 2 positions. So we've got McCaffrey, Bell, Kareem Hunt, and Akers at running back. So we do need at least one more there. And we've got Allen Robinson, Galladay, Lockett, Slayton, Preston Williams. Love those receivers. we should look running back with at least one of these picks. So who would be a really nice upside running back? Chase Edmonds for sure. Pretty much has that backup role on lock. Technically, Evans, if Hunter Henry got injured, he's not taking over the role, obviously, but in a full PPR league, that's actually not a bad pick because he should just take over the Dion Lewis role. There's probably not any hidden. Mike Boone, okay, you could take Mike Boone here if you think the holdout happens and that Mike Boone's better than Madison. I think pretty clearly, though, Chase Edmonds has the most upside of anyone that I just listed. Drake goes down. Edmonds should just be the guy, and that would result in a running back 1. So we just captured running back 1 potential there. Matt Ryan is still available. That's actually kind of nuts. I don't think this happens usually in your leagues. This is a simulator site. But look at all these quarterbacks that you can get late. There are definitely some wide receivers that'll still be there. So let's take another shot at just our favorite running back here. Honestly, yeah, I think it would be Evans. Because they don't have another running back on the roster that they would use heavily if Derrick Henry went down. And even when that doesn't happen, like I said, full PPR league, he's going to have receptions. He's a good satellite back. Dang, Hawkinson's available too. Guys, I'm just telling you, wait on quarterback and tight end. I'm still okay with where we took the guys, but it's just such a value late. One more pick. Let's go with wide receiver. Pure upside. 100% upside with this pick. So not Hunter Renfrow, not Paris Campbell, not Lazard. I guess you could think about Corey Davis, Denzel Mims, but schedule's kind of tough. Cobb, I wouldn't say has the most upside, although I don't mind him as a pick at all. Goodness. Yeah, I don't see crazy upside picks anywhere. Wow. I feel like technically Corey Davis or Mims would be the play here because what if A.J. Brown got hurt? I mean, Corey Davis would just be the guy, right? But maybe Mims is as good as we think he is. It's just, I don't know, in his rookie year. Let's do Corey Davis. Even though I don't love the pick, if you consider the upside, I mean, who else has that sort of upside? He still is a talented player. I know everyone hates him, but he's a talented player. Okay, go to 95 again. We don't really care about the ranking too much. Our team. I really like the starting roster. I know I keep saying that, but I like it. Kyler Murray, Christian McCaffrey, Le'Veon Bell, Allen Robinson, Galladay, Tyler Lockett, Tyler Higbee, Kareem Hunt, and then I guess we would have taken whatever defense. Then Cam Akers, Darius Slayton, Preston Williams, Chase Edmonds, Darrell Evans, and Corey Davis. I really do like the team. I guess we'll do what we used to be doing with taking a look at what we could have done differently. I kept mentioning how many quarterbacks there were late. I'm on the left, couldn't find my team. We took Kyler at the 6-12. Realistically, I do think that was the correct decision, even though what happened later. But we technically could have drafted Matt Ryan in the 13th round. So we took running back. What running back could have we taken instead of Kyler Murray? We could have taken Swift. That's probably what I would have. Yeah, I think Swift over Akers. I think. But I guess it would be who you prefer there. So let me know. I'll put the poll out on Twitter and let me know in the comment section. Would you rather have Kyler Murray and Darrell Evans or Matt Ryan and your favorite of DeAndre Swift and Akers? I guess we should say Swift because, I still got Akers. That's the thing. You could say, oh, I'd rather have Akers and Matt Ryan, but, I still got Akers. So it's optimal still to have taken Kyler Murray. So I still think that's the correct decision, even if the poll comes out differently. I'll say Swift in the poll because I ended up getting Akers. That'll do it. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. That's the end of this one. Hope you all did enjoy. If you did, how about hitting that like button? And how about subscribing to the channel if you're new? Thanks for watching.